This is an XB Coupe, quite rare. I fully admit that I am not an expert on Fords, so I may say some things in this video that aren't 100% correct. So please, if I'm wrong, let me know. But I am really trying to expand my knowledge of Fords. I do know some things about it, of course. Probably not enough to appease X-Series Falcon experts, which I'm sure there are many. And after experiencing this car for just a few short hours, I cannot believe how much I love this car. I don't get it twisted. I cannot afford to buy something like this. These have skyrocketed in value, especially the coupes, the GS, especially ones like this. Very similar to HG, HK Monaro prices. So won't be seeing one in my shed anytime soon. But experiencing it for the day, this car is magic. It gives me this feeling, and the only thing that I can describe it off the top of my head, if you've ever seen Top Gear, James May always used to talk about these cars that gave him something he called the fizz. And while I love a lot of the cars on the channel, I think I know what James is talking about. They don't all give you this feeling. This car gives me this feeling, and I haven't fallen in love with it because I know that I can't afford it. But man, there is something about this car. First of all though, let's talk about the styling. It is gorgeous. Don't even, everything, every angle, just everything about it. The rear end, the 4 lights on the front end, just the scoops in the bonnet, all of the lines. I love the GS pinstriping, chrome bars, just everything about this car is gorgeous. And I know the Ford versus Holden rivalry was and is still strong, especially in this era, but I'm sure that a lot of Holden blokes will agree with me when you look back at this car, and it's good looking. And I'm not saying that the Holdens are ugly, because they're not, but this is a beautiful car. It really is, and it's amazing how well it has held up, and it has reached a legendary status in a relatively short amount of time. Something about seeing this car in person and seeing this massive bulging quarter, it's huge. It's just tough as old nails. It's so cool. And wait till you hear it, which we'll get to in a second. But from what research I've done, the Grand Sport Pack, it include these stripes down the side. It has a GT dash and the scoops on the bonnet, I believe. Now again, correct me if I'm wrong. It was actually a little bit of a challenge to find too much about this car. I really did try, but it was a little bit tricky. But the front end of this car is just absolutely gorgeous. I love the 4 headlights, and I know that this, and then on the XWs and the XYs, the 4 headlights sort of become a staple for this car, and it's really cool. Again, my generation, unless these are in your family already, they probably don't have much connection with these cars just because they've always been so expensive and classic for as long as I know. But there was once upon a time where these were cars that young P-platers bought for stuff all and race between the lights, race their mates, doing donuts in the car park and that kind of thing, back a long time ago, long before I was born. So it is really cool to see one survive like this. This one has been restored, but it's very lovingly been restored. It's very true to the original car, as far as I'm aware. And I think it really holds its own when it compares to the Holdens of the time and when compared to the American Muscle as well. Now, the next thing we're going to do is pop the bonnet. Now, this is my first time doing this. Now, you do have to be very careful when you're taking these out, as the owner has told me, to not scratch the paint. So I am really trying very hard not to do that. And this one as well. So once you've got those open, then we can open the bonnet. Oh, there she is. So there is our powerhouse, the 351. And like I said, it has been opened. It has a bit of a rest though, and it does sound tough as nails, which we'll listen to very shortly. But now a lot of people are starting to put, Barra turbos and all that kind of stuff in their old cars. And look, I get it. Well, you want them to go fast, but there is something about having the OG motor like this that just sounds tough as old nails. Everything from the experience of hearing it start, turning the key. I think that is really important on an old car like this. And if I was to ever have anything like this, it's definitely getting a 351 or some period correct motor, because it ties the whole package together and it sounds great. But one part that I adore is the interior. It is so cool. Again, I don't know a ton about the specifics of models. I do know that from my research that it has a GT dash, but again, I'm not super familiar with these cars like I am with the Holdens. So please tell me if there's something that you see in here that stands out. But to me, this is a gorgeous place to be. I love this steering wheel. It's got like a rubber on the inside and it's really nice. It is very cool. Now, it feels luxurious in here. I can't imagine these cars were too cheap back in the day, but your dash here is like this really soft leather. I can imagine that would probably be one of the first things to go in one of these cars, because even just touching that, it is so hot just because of the sun. I love the cluster, the instrument cluster. It has had a radio put in it, but other than that, you know, our cigarette lighter, there's an analog clock. Just really, really cool. Heaps of storage as well. I love the glove box is metal, headlining's all black, and just everything in here is fluffy and chrome and leather and soft. It's such a cool place. I also love the brake pedal that says power disc brakes. That's another really cool touch. It's very comfortable. This seat, it's like sitting on a couch. It's so comfy. Lots of storage, surprisingly. And one thing that is weird, and look, I could be wrong here, I can't figure out how to adjust the seat. And I'm not that tall, and the owner of this car is quite a bit taller than I am, so I almost feel like I'm laying down, but that's okay. It's fine for the limited time that I'm with this car. I'll be honest, if there was negatives and things that I had about this car to say, I would say them, but I don't know what to tell you. It's a beautiful old car, and the interior in this really does it justice. It's really good that so many of these cars are now being saved. These are not being parted out and wrecked. Those days are long gone, unless they're really beyond saving. Like the Holdens of the same age, you're prone to rust and other things. And my family actually has a bit of a connection with these cars because my grandpa used to work at Ford's in Geelong, and I actually bought this car with the owner's permission, of course, to my grandparents' house, and my grandpa loved this car. He'd prefer that I don't upload that video, and I totally respect that because I did record it for my own personal use. I can assure you that he was smiling ear to ear as in his late 80s, and he probably never thought that he'd get to ride in one of these again. This is one of those cars that even people that aren't car people look at and connect with. It brings back memories of their youth, their childhood, first cars, whatever. And for me, while I don't have those memories, I can really respect this car as a car enthusiast. Even though I'm into Holdens, these cars are just such head turners. They're so cool. Anyway, let's stop talking about it and let's go for a drive, because that's the best part about these cars, isn't it? Other than the styling. Listen to this. Handbrake down, changing gear. Man, I am so spoiled, so privileged and lucky to be trusted with something like this. And because of that, I always say in my videos that I'm not going to be driving like an idiot, and that's true, but especially in this car. Again, it's a standard 351, but the value of this car and the significance of this is not lost on me. It's so damn cool. It really is. It's my first time driving something from this age as well. So a few of the things that I might say about this car. A few of the things that I might say about this car might not be specific to this, but I just don't have enough experience. Oh my god, so there is only one negative that I can think of, and it's really not that bad, and that is the steering is very touchy. It's kind of hard to show you on camera, but it's very touchy, and it doesn't feel super sorted and balanced at highway speed. That's the only thing I can think of. That's it. Other than that, it's very fun to drive, even though it's not quick. It's just such good fun, and it's like driving a supercar, like I guess, because I've never driven one, but that's what I'm assuming it's like, because the amount of looks and beeps and thumbs up this car gets is shocking. So cool. Oh my god, this is unreal. And this is the thing, like, as I mentioned before, Holden versus Ford, I get it back in the day, but in today's environment, let's let it go, because enjoying these cars for what they are, and what they are is Australian history, and enjoying it for that, I think that's what's more important than Ford versus Holden. I'm sure that a Kingswood from this era, you know, HG, HK, whatever, would be just as fun to drive as this. But really, they're not enemies. You know, they're opponents. They're competitors. They're not enemies. And I have a deep appreciation for early Australian motoring, as I'm sure you can see by the grin across my face. My face is almost sore from smiling. This is just so damn cool. Oh my god. It sounds fantastic, this thing. Such a cool, so, oh, I don't even know how to explain it. If there is a car, if you're watching at home and you've never driven an X Series Falcon like I had, you know, earlier from today, and you're jealous, sorry to tell you, it's as good as you think it is. It really is. It is unreal. I am jealous because this isn't my car, and I'm jealous that I'll not experience this after this day. It is a phenomenal experience driving this thing. Just, yeah, it's so cool. It's fascinating. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have so enjoyed my time with this car. There are some other videos to come. I did like a point of view driving one and some reels and shorts and stuff like that, but overall this is just, I can't believe that I'm even allowed to drive this. It's such a significant car in Ford's history, and being a coupe, which is rare, and having this GS and being a GS, and it is absolutely gorgeous. A fantastic time capsule. If you guys would like your car on the channel, please get in touch. It doesn't have to be like this or in this condition, but it's a bonus if it is, of course. Thank you for liking, subscribing, following along, and I really appreciate everyone for watching. Thank you very much.